All right. So again, the back the back of the what am I looking for? The I'm pretty sure I said it in the last time. The behind the scenes. That's what I'm saying. Behind the scenes of Time for Success Business Owner Mom Edition here with Kathy Hubbard of KKFundraising, and we'll get into a little bit more about her business and what she does. And we're gonna get started here in just a couple minutes, maybe.
Sorry.
Are we getting started soon?
Right now.
Oh, okay, great. You want to put on the
Oh,
headset?
put the headphones on. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right, right. Yep. Welcome to Time for Success Business Owner Moms Edition. And today we've got Kathy Hubbard with KK Fundraising Events. How are you doing today, Kathy?
I'm doing great. It's a gorgeous day out there.
It is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. We're locked away in the studio, but only for a short period.
That's right.
So, well, but thanks for coming out today. I think a lot of people will be interested to hear about your story and as a business owner and how it's developed over the years, and I mean even and interested in what you do and how it kind of might help their business. So, tell me a little bit more about KK Fundraising Events. So, what is it that you do?
Okay. Well, and again, thank you for the opportunity to be here and chat.
Blast.
So I'm an event planner, and I'm also registered with the state of Missouri as a professional fundraiser.
Okay.
So I basically help my clients save time, money, and stress planning events. I consider myself their coach.
Wonderful.
I work for them.
Yeah.
And help them, give them advice. Basically, initially have a conversation about what their goals are, what's their vision for their event, any obstacles, resources, and then put a plan together that minimizes costs,
Yeah.
as well as maximizes the opportunity for the goals that they've set and for their vision.
Awesome. So, events. I mean, do you see that? I mean, is it growing in popularity these days? I mean,
Well, I've been really grateful.
Yeah.
I had been involved with events
yeah.
and event planning for a very long time, but not
Mhm.
with my own business. And last year, my daughter Krystle and I were looking at what was happening and said, okay, it's time to move forward with creating my own company.
Yeah.
Because of what was happening. People were coming for help and support with their events. And when I say events, there's two types.
Okay.
Obviously, fundraising is a niche.
Yeah. Right.
But when I spend 100+ hours on that type of a project, the other things that I get to do that I absolutely love is helping like a new business owner plan their ribbon cutting,
Right.
plan a 1-year celebration, events that don't necessarily involve fundraising.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really growing. That's really growing right now.
Yeah. That's what I feel like. A lot of people are looking for more kind of experience based exposures to businesses. I mean, they can go shop. Excuse me. They can go shopping online, but when you can create a special event that they can take part of, that they have fun with, or that, I mean, maybe they feel good at being part of because like it's a fundraising event or something like that, it creates more of an experience of an interaction with the business rather than just kind of the buy, sell, kind of, just transactional relationship.
Absolutely, and a lot of my recent clients, while I'm not hired in my capacity as the registered professional fundraiser, many of these small business owners that I'm helping, they want to take their event and see how they can make a difference in the community. So they will tie in often a charity that they're very fond of, that they want to support. It can be really difficult because many of the business owners support more than one.
Yeah,
and so then they decide for that particular event. You know, for example, someone I helped support. He tied in Operation Food Search.
Okay.
And the people that attended the event brought in non-perishable food, and with his event he was able to have 1,000 pounds, about 1,000 pounds donated, which could feed 250 families. So that's a big impact.
That is. I mean, 250 families. I mean, 1,000 pounds of food.
Yes.
That's half a ton, folks. Half a ton. So that's phenomenal. So you've done fundraising for a long time. Now, you did fundraising previously with Avon Fundraising?
Yes.
Well?
And my daughter co-owns the business, and
okay.
so she's now at Lindenwood. She's a freshman pursuing theater.
Awesome.
So her Avon business, it really works out really well. But yeah, that's kind of how things started, was helping to support her with a backup plan.
Yeah.
And then getting to meet people and sit down with them and find out what their needs are.
Yeah.
Avon's got a great program, and it's a great fit for like groups, and some individuals that we were helping. But then that's a tool in the toolkit, right. And so there are people, like I said, that I help now that it doesn't involve fundraising at all, or if they need a quicker, larger amount, like somebody wants to do an adult scavenger hunt, that's their idea, so then I help them bring it to life. That's their idea. It's what they're passionate about.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. So I mean, with what got you into business in the first place for yourself? So why did you decide to start up your own independent business?
Well, growing up, I always wanted to have my own business. My mom was an entrepreneur. I didn't realize it at the time.
Oh, really?
But she was a nurse for a long time, and then there was a period of time where she became a stay-at-home mom. And I remember helping her. She had a ceramic kiln in the basement, and she loved creating ceramics. And then I know this sounds funny, but I would literally take my little red wagon and I would go through the neighborhood, and I knew the neighbors that wanted to purchase or see, what she had made. And then my mom would give me a portion of that, and I used that to pay for Barbie doll clothes from a neighbor that made them, because it was a lot less expensive than going to the store buying Barbie doll clothes.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
And there was a short period of time, I didn't realize it until later in life, when my daughter and I started our Avon business, that my mom sold Avon as well, and I remember helping her for a very, very short period of time. We're really going back now with my memory. But I remember my mom having that entrepreneurial spirit, and then growing up, volunteerism. Even if you don't have money, there's a way that you can help your community. There's a way that you can help your neighbor. And so had a great career working in state government. Alongside of that, became involved in the Jaycees, which is a leadership organization for young people, and you age out when you turn 40. So and then you get involved in other things, right? But just through those experiences of volunteerism and giving back to the community and working through the years, just have a passion for events and being able to give back to the community. So I wanted a business, and I did try some other home-based businesses while I was a single parent. There's a period of time with my son Lee, who's now he's 31. He's an engineer for Catepillar.
Right.
He and his wife Cassie, they live in downtown Chicago, and he flies to his job site that's up in Canada. But you know, the whole experience as a mother and entrepreneur with him as a single parent is very different than what it's like now.
Yeah.
Now I've been married to Clint for 24 years, and so there's just a lot of changes that have occurred. And so really what happened was my daughter, Krystle, basically coming to me and saying, hey, I want to pursue the theater. I get that I need some backup plans. You know, it's a tough industry, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so really through her, that's kind of how things fell into place.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, because your story is a really interesting one. You had a mom who's an entrepreneur, and she kind of helped you with that entrepreneurial spirit that allowed you to buy the Barbie clothes that you wanted to buy. And then, you know, you're looking for kind of your own entrepreneurial activities.
Right.
And Avon really spoke to you because of, you know, because you could really take that fundraising aspect of it and really go for it and help a lot of people. And then you've even transitioned. So you've still got, you know, the Avon, it's still helping you, you know, you and your daughter and everything, but you've even transitioned to now and expanded your own business. It's not just Avon fundraising. It is, you know, an event, you know, coordination, event planning, all of that. Plus, you know, you do the fundraising, and not just Avon fundraising, but a variety of fundraising, whatever makes sense for that business, right?
Right, or that organization.
Right.
Yeah, so just, you know, like Emerge Everyone, which is a non-for-profit.
Yeah.
They have a mouse races coming up, and I've been honored to help them plan that event. They provide free classes for individuals with disabilities that wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity. And so it's really a win-win, because I spent 30 years supporting people with disabilities and their families. So you know, it's just that's an amazing opportunity that came up.
Right.
And then, you know, I'm helping a real estate agent with her second adult scavenger hunt. In fact, you're one of the judges.
Right, I am. Yeah, that's coming up too, isn't it?
That's right, it's coming up.
Is that this weekend?
It is this weekend, and she, both of them are this weekend, and she, but again, it was her idea, and she had a really successful one last spring, wanted to do it again,
Cool.
But so I'm supporting her and her dream and her team, but it's benefiting Habitat for Humanity, St. Charles County. So yeah, those are just a couple of examples on that side.
Well, that's great. So, you know, one of the things that we like to dig into is, like, what does success mean to people, right? Because, well, you know, in the Business Owner Dads, we talk about how a lot of men kind of, well, culturally speaking, they're encouraged that, you know, career and the business is kind of like the main source of success. And so, you know, but there's a lot of people who value family, and so we're trying to, you know, talk about those things. So as a mother entrepreneur, you know, how do you define success, and how, like, what are all these different things that you feel like you have to juggle in your life?
Well, for me, faith in God comes first. For me, the balance, it's constantly looking at how to balance, you know, my faith in God comes first, then family, and then business. And what's really, I think, been a blessing for me is to have a daughter as a business partner that we could be on the journey together. I think that's been really helpful for me, you know, but success, and I'm still working on that, is balancing it all, you know. And now we've just gone through a new transition where she's away at college,
right?
You know, so my husband and I get to spend a whole lot more time together, right? Without my daughter, but my daughter and I are still connected because of business. You know, and so that's a very different experience than when I was doing different direct sales, working a part-time job alongside my full-time job, and as a single parent. It's a very different experience.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, it is a balance, and for me, it's balancing the family and then the celebration. You know, you got to when you talk about success, sometimes it's the little things. You know, like I get to help someone with their project. And then to see what the impact that without me this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And there's a great sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
So there's different types of success.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
how you look at it.
So you're saying, there's the accomplishment aspect, there's kind of the balancing the family aspect.
Yes.
So what's interesting, there's a lot of folks who listen who might be in direct sales and whatnot. And so kind of going back to, that time, and you were trying to work a full-time job and manage a family and, do direct sales too. I mean, because, just because, you had to maybe go off and work on one of these events or whatever it might be, I mean, you still had like the responsibilities at home. How did you and your husband and your daughter, and how did you guys all kind of work to make sure that, the house wasn't falling apart?
So that's where the team aspect comes in with my husband Clint, because there are times with Krystle's activities, for example, in high school, where if I had an opportunity and it involved Krystle, obviously we did it together, but not every opportunity, because she may have been off. She took voice, piano lessons, with kids, they have activities and they have their interests. And so he was always there. He's still there. It's just different because she's off at college. We do get to see her more regularly since she's local, but having him as a support system. Right. About a month ago, I was using an event space for the first time, and it was the first time for the event space as well, to use it for a fundraising event. And I ran into a situation where I needed some manpower to put some tables up and some chairs. And guess who came?
You're like,
my
hey.
My husband.
Right. You happen to be a man, and I need some manpower now. But
So I mean, he's been there. He's actually gone out and helped get me new clients.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done it intentionally, but it's happened. He's excited about it.
Right.
He's excited. Oh my gosh, I made this connection for you, and then pulling us all together, to celebrate this. I do want to make one thing really, really clear though on the journey.
Yeah.
I am so grateful for my referral partners.
Yeah.
And building relationships. I had never heard of Business Network International before, and thankfully, someone thought of me to introduce me. I knew I needed help to help my daughter, and I'm in my 4th year now. Our whole lives have changed.
Really?
But
from the networking.
And just building those relationships, and I didn't realize at the time the whole giver's gain. When my daughter and I started our Avon business, we sat down and we said, okay, here's our plan. And our plan was we were just going to go out and build relationships. And I knew to join the chamber.
Right.
And so that whole journey and the experience, and then being able to learn experiences of other members and what it's led to. So now I have some different roles. That I'm really grateful for with B&I Mid-America.
Yeah. So, well, that's interesting. You're talking about the giver's gain, and you're talking about how it's a big factor in your business and success. So, and a lot of people are out there networking, trying to figure out how to make networking work for their business. So, what are some key factors? Because people will go to networking events and not get anything out of it, right? So what are some key factors for them to be successful if they're going to go to a B&I event or some sort of networking event? What would you say that most of the time they're missing if they're not getting any results out of it?
Well, I can only speak for myself.
Right.
That there was a change I went through.
Yeah.
Now when I go to events, I'm very strategic about them. You talk about the family balance, work balance, and all that.
Yeah.
There's so much great opportunities out there, and so you can't be everywhere, right? So had to look at what made sense, and I've had to make adjustments. So that's part of what you do. But when you show up, like I said, my whole thing is just to meet people, find out who they are, what they do, and who do they want to be connected with. And really put that focus on them. And then what I've just found is that when you do that, then it may be 6 months, it might be a year,
Yeah.
it may be never, right? But once in a while, someone will reach out to me. They'll remember
Yeah.
that we met and that I connected them with someone, and they'll say, oh, you know what, by the way, I'd like to introduce you to someone, you know, and so I just think that has really helped.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset, you know.
Yeah.
For me, if I get to meet one new person, that's success, and help them connect with somebody.
That's great. So you go in there with probably a different goal than a lot of people than in that networking space, right? So you to tie it together, you talked about how important Giver's Gain was,
Right.
and then you just talked about your real goal, your definition of success for a networking meeting is to find somebody who needs something, and then you connect them.
Yes.
And then that creates a memorable experience. They're appreciative of what you've done, and they remember that, and then somehow it all just kind of comes back around, and you know, the giver's gain, right? Ultimately, is kind of what you're saying. So, for people who are going into networking events saying, "Well, I didn't make any money out of it," well, did you help somebody else make money? Might be kind of a good question to ask yourself. Did you help somebody else build a relationship? Did you go in there with the mindset of, hey, you know what? To help myself to grow my business, what if I first help somebody else? So that's kind of what you're saying.
Right.
Wow, that's fantastic. You know, I think that's a key insight that probably will help a lot of people. So, you know, what's interesting is in the Business Owner Dad's Edition this week, he also talked about, you know, getting the family involved, and that's how to be successful. Working together, and you're saying that, you know, your husband's been very involved. I know with my wife, she does cake design, and so I'm talking about her and trying to always. I'm excited for her too, and,
Sure.
and trying to help connect her and build some relationships. And you said that your husband's even been out there, you know, trying to, you know, build relationships for you as well. So would you say then that getting the whole family involved has really been something that has really helped you to reach what you define as in terms of success?
Yes. Yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah.
You know, it's a journey. And then, because like I said, we just went through a great big change with Krystle moving off to college. Yeah. And so, being able to, and then take that time, like for example, last Friday, we met up with Krystle. We went downtown St. Charles and had an early dinner, and then we were celebrating some things, you know, celebrating some of her success, of what her experience has been so far at Lindenwood, celebrating some blessings that we've had. And so, you know, you do need to take the time to celebrate,
right?
Even the small things, right?
So so celebration is key. So giving something, or giving everybody something to look forward to. So you kind of set some goals, you celebrate together, you keep the family unit involved. Those are all key factors to success for you and your family and in your business.
I would say so, but there's also the individual interest as well, and and supporting each other with individual.
So understanding each person's interest. So
right.
You know, what excites your husband about the business versus your daughter versus you, and keeping
exactly. And it's definitely been a journey. I would say that my husband is much more supportive now than in the beginning.
Yeah.
Than in the beginning, and I get that. I understand that, because there's a lot of unknown when you start your own business.
Right.
But you can't help get excited.
Yeah.
When your wife comes home and says, "Oh my gosh, look at this great event that we had, and look what we did, and thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you taking Krystle to rehearsal," or whatever it was.
Right. The energy becomes infectious.
Exactly.
So I really want to hit upon really quickly. So, you know, being able to educate business owners about services that are available to them to help make their lives easier, better, leverage their time better. So, you know, in terms of you know, event planning and what all that, can you just kind of speak to how that really helps an entrepreneur just use their time more wisely?
Well, you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
You know, test and measure.
Yeah.
You know, I use my phone a lot with a lot of different things. And then once I get home, I obviously have my laptop for stuff. But you do, and you always need to plan for success.
Right.
And make adjustments. That's what I've done.
Yeah.
Make adjustments. As the business is growing and I'm getting more opportunities to help more people, I have to make adjustments in my time.
Right. Yeah. Well, and so being able to come in and do the event planning when you're the professional, you have all the relationships, you know how to do the negotiations for, the food, the space, any sort of entertainment or whatever, whereas a small business owner, they need to really focus on, doing what they do well.
Right.
You can come in, create an amazing event that brings in, the target client that they want, and it can make their life a lot easier in terms of trying, otherwise they might even actually lose money.
Right.
Because they didn't know how to negotiate the same ways that you've learned how to do.
Yeah, the value of the relationships that I continue to build and negotiation, take on tasks so that frees them up to spend more time with getting new clients or whatever it may be.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Kathy. Kathy with KK Fundraising and Events.
Love the
and
music.
Thank you for Time for Success Business Owner Moms Edition.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. Thanks, Kathy.